So Alchimia is a product that not only VBH sells, but they also just offer it separately and into the residential markets. So I'll start here with control. So this is a wood panel. This happens to be wood veneer, but if I approach it, it appears. If I touch it, it gives me feedback. You hear an audio cue depending on how close you are. You can have a temperature or color change as well for temperature, and you can control basic functions. And then if I move away, this is on a timer because it's a demo unit, it's going to fade and go back to be completely invisible again. So this isn't something that replaces every touch panel in the home, but it gives you a really beautiful way to integrate that and also gives the functionality that they're looking for. And you can have an audio feedback, you can have haptic feedback, you can have color changes. You can also wake it up by touching it. So like in conference tables, sometimes it's put to the table and you don't want to approach because then it would constantly be flashing. We've seen requests to use it for like safe rooms, where it really gives you an opportunity to completely hide something. If you imagine it in a wet environment, like a spa or behind tile, I've given away secrets for the Monaco Yacht Show, but they will be launching a shower version, so it'll be behind tile. You can control the temperature and the water pressure, so stay tuned for video footage of that in a few weeks. I think it's the 25th of September. Yeah, behind me, you can see the display. It's matching the surface here. This is an onyx ceramic. It could also be natural stone. They've done a lot of these in marble. I see some really beautiful ones of black marble. It can be matte, it can be glossy. They've also done this in wood, but you'll notice that the TV is mimicking its surrounding. Unlike a lot of attempts to completely just mimic with an image, you quickly find out that 98% of the time that the colors don't match, because this surface reflects light and this surface emits light, and your brain and your eyes pick up on those differences really, really easily. So the only way to have it not immediately scream TV is to get the color temperature correct and the lighting correct and try to get those surfaces to match. So what Alchimia actually does is they take the material, whatever it is, and they study it in the lighting laboratory that they've created. So they subject it to every kind of light, and they learn what they figure out, like the fingerprint, the lighting fingerprint, the lighting DNA of that specific material. So they know that in X light conditions, this material looks like Y. And then that's what they actually emit here. So there's little tiny sensors, which you can't see from where you're standing, but when you come closer, there's 4 in this case, there's up to 6 little sensors, and they check the lighting conditions. So it just got brighter in here, and you're gonna see the display. It's a little bit delayed because we have it on a demo loop. React in real time. And so it's going to adapt and change throughout the day to consistently be matching that surrounding material. So TV disappears, you no longer have the black plate on the wall, but it's instantly available when you need it. The third area that they were addressing is sound. And so often on a ship, when they put the TV in display, there's beautiful windows along the side walls, and there's not a lot of room for speakers. So speakers end up going in the ceiling. And no matter how good a speaker is in the ceiling, it could be the best speaker in the world. It's still an unnatural way for sound to be experienced, especially when it's being paired with content on a display in front of you. And so they were searching for a solution to that again was invisible. Drywall speakers are getting better and better every day, but they don't deliver the same clarity that their clients were looking for or the amount of sound pressure that they wanted. And so they developed Alchimia Sound. So this, where my hand is actually the speaker code. So it's not playing through anything. This whole panel is actually a light source. They've patented and kind of cracked the code on how to place 15 different transducers to make this panel move in one solid state rather than work against each other and cancel each other out. It's a mid-high line source, and then down here is a ported subwoofer, or boundary woofer in this case, out through kind of that negative toe kick reveal across the bottom. So I'll play it for you in a second, and I'll ask Rutger to crank it up, and you can put your hand against it. It's a pretty remarkable, so think in your mind what usually visible speaker sounds can accomplish, and then come closer, and you're also going to walk around here. Imagine you need an awful lot of power to drive something, especially if it ends up being a big marble slab for a speaker. So we have a partnership with Alchimia. We're actually driving it with Lyngdorf, so it's Lyngdorf powered. So the same processor that you'll experience in the home theater today is what's driving this as well, which means they also have the added benefit of having room perfect with all of their systems. So everything is done in-house, and the production depends a lot on the individual situation. For example, if your client has already purchased the slab and it's in a different market, Some of it can be done on site. The speakers need at this point to be created and processed in Amsterdam at their lab, but sensors can be added on site and display. So it's sort of a mixed piece depending on where the materials are. But in general, if you're starting from, blank slate, it would all come from Amsterdam.